friend since college, and she's been my business partner almost as long. Isabel and Jess are friends too, and they still see each other all the time. But Jess popping up in this conversation makes me uneasy, because she's the reason I'm at Greenport today. And Jess does so love to meddle. I'm distracted just thinking about this, and that's when I make a critical error. I forget that there's a reason I've been standing at a supremely uncomfortable 60-degree angle, with my lower half hidden behind the wall which houses the stairwell, my top half leaning into the living room where Isabel is sitting. As soon as I shift position into something like a more standard posture, I see Isabel's gaze run down my body. The scowl on her face intensifies, and mortifyingly, I feel myself blushing. "Why are you naked?" Isabel demands. That's not why I'm blushing. After more than 4 years together, I'm certain Isabel is at least as familiar with my junk as I am, and my current state of undress is actually easily explained. I arrived here 94 minutes ago, immediately went for a very long run, and then took a very long shower. Everything was fine until I reached for a towel and discovered that Isabel's scent was all over the soft cotton. That made no sense, because my assistant Vanessa was supposed to arrange for the cleaning service to refresh the house before my arrival here today. I was headed downstairs to see if Vanessa had at least managed to stock the fridge with food and booze when I heard the sound of footsteps in the living room. It seemed a safe assumption that if someone had broken into the house while I was in the shower, it wouldn't be someone who was already well acquainted with my nether regions. So I was careful to stick only my head around the corner to investigate. That was when I found Isabel herself, sitting proudly on the sofa as if it was her throne, firing death glares in my direction. Which, for the record, she is definitely still doing. I might not be super skilled at reading body language, but even I know a stink eye when I see one. And this particular stink eye is focused with laser-like intent on the fourth finger of my left hand. That is why I'm blushing, because what she can see there is not nearly as easily explained as a casual spot of midday nudity. "Why on earth would you put your wedding ring back on now?" she asks me stiffly. The thing is, I never really took it off. I'd just slide it into my pocket if I knew I was going to see her. It wasn't all that difficult to hide the fact that I'm still wearing the ring. I've only seen her in person 10 times since she walked out of our Chelsea brownstone 10 months ago. Once at our one and only attempt at marriage counseling, once at Jess's legendary and, this year, somewhat awkward New Year's Eve party, once at the engagement party for our friends Marcus and Abby, and 7 times at mediation sessions, each one more heated than the last. Isabel obviously noticed I wasn't wearing the ring during those encounters, although it seems she missed the way I constantly rubbed the empty space on my finger, endlessly aware of its absence, just as I'm endlessly aware of her absence in our home in Manhattan. I'd inevitably have felt her missing in this house today. If she wasn't here, that is. I've tried to stop wearing the ring, and I find I just can't break the habit. Although if anything is going to cure me, the mortification of this moment might just do the trick. I thought I was here alone, I say. Suddenly, my future happiness all seems to hinge on Vanessa. Specifically, Vanessa having at least managed to get the fridge stocked with a shitload of beer. It's only just lunchtime, but I tell myself it's got to be 5 p.m. somewhere. And besides, if there's ever any circumstance where day drinking was permissible, this is surely it. I walk toward the fridge, ignoring both my nudity and Isabel's huffing and puffing, and pull the door open. Vanessa clearly has not followed any of my instructions, and that's as confusing as it is depressing. There's no food at all in the fridge, although there is beer. Isabel usually prefers wine, so this is probably the beer I left here last time I visited, which was well over 12 months ago. But I'm willing to bet it's still drinkable. I withdraw a bottle and offer it to Isabel, only for her to gasp in indignation.